The Genius Club with Prairie Pine. Chapter 33. Confession. C.E. hesitated for a moment, then put away her gun and picked up her laptop to walk to the password door. She first used a small tool to pry open the lock case, revealing the circuit board inside. Then she connected the wires with a few quick moves and started operating on the laptop. After about 10 minutes, a soft beep echoed through the warehouse. The password indicator light turned from red to green, and the heavy steel door opened with a creak. CC stood up and pointed to the half-open password door, telling Alex to go first. "You go first," Alex replied politely. He knew this script all too well. He was pretending to be Big Face Cat now. If he went in first, he'd definitely be shot in the head on the spot. "You go first. You've done more to deserve it," CC said, making an inviting gesture. Alex waved his hand repeatedly, insisting that her role was more crucial and that she should go ahead. "Don't you need a lot of money? You take it first," CC pressed. "Ladies first," Alex insisted. CC then said she was afraid she couldn't carry the gold bricks inside, and Alex suggested she take lighter gold bars instead. "Then I should go get a sack to carry more," CC said. Alex echoed that he'd also left his sack in the car, pretending to be careless. CC urged him to stop being polite since he needed the money urgently, but Alex replied it wasn't that urgent. They stood in a stalemate for a long time, neither daring to enter first. Alex was afraid CC would shoot him, and CC, shocked by Alex's shooting skills, was equally afraid of being shot. Deep down, both knew the truth. There wasn't a penny in the warehouse. "Enough of this pretense. Let's talk honestly and tell the truth," Alex said, finding the stalemate pointless. He took the initiative to lay his cards on the table. "I'm not Big Face Cat, actually." CC let out a light laugh. "Do we even need a confession for that? You can't think you acted well, right?" She pointed out that he had no gun, no C4, and wasn't familiar with the van, all signs it wasn't his. "I've never met Big Face Cat. We only talked online," CC explained. She stared at Alex's Rhine cat mask through her own Ultraman mask, asking bluntly, "So, who exactly are you?" "You give off an extremely unprofessional vibe, like a college student robbing a bank on a whim," CC said. But she admitted his shooting skills were divine, far from an ordinary person's. She added that she'd only seen one person with comparable skills, and their shooting postures were identical. "Oh, is there such a master?" Alex asked, twirling the gun in his hand. He said he'd love to duel with that person sometime. The air then fell into mysterious silence, with only the sound of Alex spinning his gun echoing in the vast space. "How about we cooperate?" Alex broke the silence. CC raised an eyebrow. "Cooperate on what?" Alex simply pointed to the half-open password door, letting his gesture speak for itself. "I know your goal is to open the safe here labeled Alex," Alex said. CC looked at the safe inside the door and replied, "You know quite a lot. Why not just tell me what's inside? Then I can go home right now." "I don't know what's in the safe, but I know the password," Alex replied honestly. Now that both had laid their cards on the table, there was no point in lying or hiding anything. Besides, Alex knew CC wasn't actually hard to communicate with. They'd been reasonable in their previous encounters. "What are your conditions?" CC asked. "You wouldn't tell me the password for free, would you?" "I have only one condition," Alex said, looking at CC's Ultraman mask through his own. We both take off our masks and meet each other honestly. CC reached up to touch her mask, falling into thought. So, if we both take off our masks, you'll give me the password. CC confirmed. That's right, Alex nodded. CC laughed softly. That sounds like a bad deal. I get the password, but what do you get out of it? I just want an attitude of mutual trust. Alex lied casually. He couldn't exactly tell her the real reason. All right, deal, CC agreed, turning around and kicking open the password door to walk inside. She checked the names on the safes one by one, finally stopping at the one marked Alex. Seeing the 8 password dials, CC dropped her laptop and shook her head. It's a mechanical lock, she said, sounding a little surprised. Are you sure you know the password? CC asked, eyeing the oxidized paint on the safe. Judging by this, it must be at least a few hundred years old. Alex nodded firmly. Let's save time then. He pulled the rubber band on his head and took off the small round cat mask. He then looked at CC, who still wore the Ultraman mask. Do I look familiar to you? He asked. CC shook her head blankly. Why are you asking that? Should I know you? Alex sighed, deciding not to waste time on this. CC was clearly being stubborn. She must have met him before. Otherwise, her attitude made no sense. But last time, she'd refused to admit it even at gunpoint. There was no way she'd concede now. He got straight to the point. Your turn. CC looked around to confirm there were no cameras in the warehouse, then tucked her gun into her waist. She raised both hands behind her head and pulled the elastic band, and the mask slowly came off, revealing her face bit by bit. Her deep brown bangs, flattened by the mask, fell in a natural curve, exuding youthful radiance. Her eyebrows were as light as willow leaves, and her eyes sparkled with crystal clarity, even though her gaze was cold and wary. A tiny teardrop-shaped beauty mark dotted the corner of her left eye, and as the mask slid further down, her high nose bridge and pale, tightly pressed lips came into view, her fair skin glowing with a healthy flush. It was a plain, unmade-up face, yet its indescribable purity outshone any heavy makeup. When the mask finally came off completely, her sharp, clean jawline accentuated her delicate features, making her face even more three-dimensional and refined. She was far younger than Alex had imagined, like a 17 or 18-year-old high school student. At last, the mystery was supposed to be solved, but Alex stared blankly at CC, who was brushing her bangs aside, completely stunned. He'd thought that seeing her face would reveal a familiar person, confirming his dream was illusory. But the girl in front of him was a complete stranger. He had no impression of her at all. Yet he was certain he'd heard her voice before. How could this be explained? Was it just an illusion, or a coincidence? Hey, why are you standing there like a fool? CC frowned, fixing her gaze on Alex. No. It's your turn to tell me the safe's password.